This is only a small video. It's pretty much a question to the fandom. It's not hate anything. It's kind of like asking the fandom a prediction. Uh, because when we look at Ruby, the head villain overall is Salem. Salem is the big bad of the series. But in terms of her capabilities, we know jack shit. Um, and what I'm stemming from here is a lot of people in Ruby, some semblances seem very overpowered, um, but are pretty much plot convenient type semblances. Like a person's aura sometimes is weak as shit. Sometimes it's able to shield them for friggin' ages and power their semblance for God knows how long. That's very plot convenient. The aura semblance relationship. But we do see some powerful semblances, and then we see some semblances that are just like, who gives a shit? The big thing that we can match Salem against, and I really, really hope this becomes a factor at some point in the future, is the maidens. The maidens are the only ones who have something that can actually be on Salem's level, because what we see in Salem's past is that she wielded magic effortlessly. Like, she didn't have any limits because she's the first generation human. The question gets raised, so that one of the first questions is, does Salem still have access to her elemental powers, or is it possible she lost them when the Dark God, wiped out humanity? Is it possible that he just, because that was the gift he gave to humanity, he gave them the ability to wield magic. So when he wiped out the first humanity, and he was already pissed with Salem, did he take magic from her? The second question, in regards to Salem's elemental magic, did she lose it when she jumped into the Grim Pit and became a Grim? Does becoming half Grim get rid of your elemental powers? The maidens, for the most part, are a bit odd because, in regards to their semblances before they become maidens, that's tied to their aura. So the more they use their semblance, the more their aura is sooner or later going to give up. But in terms of their elemental capabilities, that's not connected to their aura. They can use it all through the battle, and even if their aura breaks, they can still use their elemental powers because it's linked to magic and not aura. So they are a big combatant threat. The only problem is, well, one's Cinder, and Cinder's gone mental. God knows what the hell her goal is because we don't know jack shit about Cinder. Raven pretty much got ripped out of the series. If I'm making any prediction, is that Raven's gonna come back. After they leave Atlas after Volume 8, they're going to go to Vacchio for Volume 9 and 10, and then they're going to return to Beacon for 11 and 12 to retake Beacon and do the final battle, and I bet you Raven will show up when they get back to Beacon. She's just been written out of the series because, honestly, if she was to play a part, she's a maiden, and it's very hard to write in an overpowered elemental character like her into the series because you have to write all the rest of the characters around her, so they rid her off. You got Penny. My personal opinion: kill Penny as soon as possible. Um, let the powers go onto someone else. I'm not. I know it's Pinocchio, but for God's sake, she's a goddamn robot with an aura. It's I don't want to get into it. Maiden powers are supposed to go to young women, and it's supposed to be a very selective process. She's not human, and because she's a robot, you can't even. She may be modeled after a female human, but she's a robot. She doesn't have a fucking gender. I'm sorry. I know that's gonna piss people off, but it's the truth. It's a very weird decision that they went ahead with. Um, Whoever the Vecchio maiden ends up being. Back to the point of, besides the other two questions concerning Salem's powers, um, if she still has the elemental powers, the key point of this video that I wanted to ask people was her main trait right now that Kruby seems to be hammering home as if it's the only trait Salem actually has. She works from the shadows. She manipulates people. And when I actually sat down and thought about it, I'm like, okay, that's one of her traits, but a lot of villains in anime, they manipulate people from the shadows anyway. I mean, it's not that special. Madara Uchiha in Naruto, long thought dead, by the end of it, you find out he was manipulating everything. You got Obito, who was pretending to be Madara, who was pretending to be Toby, manipulating all of the Akatsuki from behind the scenes. Manipulation, even in Bleach, Aizen, Gin, Tolson, all of these characters have the manipulative capabilities. Manipulation is a great trait for a villain, but it's only ever one of their traits. They usually have other things that make them fearful, and one of those things is overpower. Overpowered. Immense power. I mean, Aizen and Madara went down in anime history as some of the most insanely overpowered villains in all time. Aizen to the point. Spoilers, skip ahead to 740 if you don't want to hear this, so pause it. At the end of Bleach manga, they can't defeat the bad guy, so Ichigo pretty much teams up with Aizen to beat the big bad guy. The main character can't do it alone. They needed Aizen. Okay, so just counting down till we get to 740. Makes a bit of sense. Give people a bit of time to catch up. That's mind blowing. But Madara Kishimoto, who is the author of Naruto, well, Naruto and Naruto Shippuden, he came out and said every person has a weakness except for Madara Uchiha. This is a guy who struggled to kill Madara, his own creation. He created the character, but he's just like, I don't know how to do it. And that's why we got the shit ending of Naruto with Kaguya. He pretty much fucked up his own story because he couldn't figure out how to kill the character that he created. So the video that this is, the question to the fandom, this is not hate, this isn't anything, we're just addressing what in the actual hell are Salem's overpowered capabilities. Because as far as I'm concerned, it can't be just manipulation. She can't just be playing chess with the world of Remnant. She has to have unique abilities, whether they're elemental, whether they're grim based. She has to be someone who multiple people, we're talking entire nations, are willing to group up to take this woman down. Maybe the maidens team up, who knows? But that's the speculation. I'm hoping this video actually gets on the Ruby Amina. I'm gonna give it a shot at bloody putting it up there in case anyone wants to offer their opinion on there. Friends, I might, post this somewhere. But it is a question for the fandom. It's really some fun. I'm trying to be positive with the fandom. Have fun. Write down whatever you want in the comment section. Whatever power you think Salem should have to justify her as the main bad guy of the series. Okay?